Hariom everyone, welcome to this class on Upadesha Saara, text by Ramana Maharishi ji, in which he explores the different aspects of sadhana, starting from the simplest or the basic, which is karma yoga, to the highest, which is jnana yoga. And therefore, the intermediate process is explained step by step in 30 shlokas. So this is the second class. So in this second class, we have seen so far that in the last class we saw the first two shlokas. पहले दो श्लोक हमने देख लिए. So first two श्लोक we have seen about karma yoga. So we'll start with the chanting first and then we'll move on to the text. Start with the Shanti part. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांतिः गणपति वंदना ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chant the opening lines of the text next. First, second, and third we chant. First and second we have completed. Third we will do today, and maybe of course further also. कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परम् कर्म तज्जडम् कृतिमहादधौ पतनकारणम् फलम् शाश्वतम् गतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितम् निश्चयाकृतम् चित्तशोधकम् मुक्तिसाधकम्. So we have seen so far in the first two verses how karma is not sentient on its own and not capable of providing any kind of fruit on its own, because karma tat jadam. So because it is jadam, because it has no sentiency, because it has no activity of its own, it is dependent on the doer, the karta. So karta pe nirbhar hai karma. So therefore, it cannot be capable of giving any kind of fruit on its own. And then Kriti Mahadado Pratana Karanam. So when we do all of these karmas, then they take us deeper into the ocean of the samsara, this world, which is like a big ocean. And that becomes a cause for our downfall, Patan Karanam. Because this phalam ashashvatam, the fruit of any karma, whatever action that we do, whenever we get its fruit, that is always temporary. It comes and goes. And therefore, it is going to harm or hinder or slow down our spiritual progress. Gati nirodhakam. So in this way, the karma can always be meant to improve our life, but we have to take it in the right aspect. That is what we'll come to in the text of which is today, right? So now, till now, what we have seen is that why do we do karma? Kyo karte hai? Why do we do? Because we have the wrong notion about ourselves, because we don't know that we are Purna. We don't know we are complete, or we do not know that we are infinite. That is something we will come into the logical process later in the text. But for now, because of that Because I think that I am a limited being. Because who am I? I am consciousness, and this consciousness is infinite. But I see myself as the consciousness functioning through this body. And therefore, when I see myself as the consciousness functioning through this body, then that creates a sense of finiteness, limitedness, because whatever the body can do, that is the limit of my sphere of activity. जो भी मेरा शरीर कर सकता है उतने तक ही मैं सीमित हूँ. So because of that I am limited, and because I am limited I need something to complete myself. I need something outside of me. So because of that incompleteness, I have to do karma, and with that karma is associated the major flaw, the major problem which we call sakamata. The feeling of desire is attached to that karma. I want this, I want that. And because of that, to remove that sense of incompletion or the sense of finitude, I do action, and with that, whenever I do action, I expect some fruit for it. Karma phal chahiye. Because of that only I am doing. So therefore, I become the karta, the doer of the action. I become the bhokta, the enjoyer of the fruit of action. So now, what is the problem here? The problem here is that when I do any karma with sakamata, with the feeling of desiring the fruit, with the feeling, with desire, then what happens is that the moment I get this fruit of karma, then that fruit can be of two kinds. One is we call pratikul and anukul. One which is favorable to us, other is unfavorable to us. And that creates in our mind the two opposite feelings of raga and dvesha. Raga is attachment or preference, and dvesha is non-preference or hatred, or you can say non-desire. So raga is something that I want that object to be near to me, and then only it will give me joy. Dvesha, I want it to be far from me, then it will give me joy. Purpose is what? Joy. So always we strive for joy. So therefore, when I look at these two things, raga and dvesha, of course, when I do any karma, then in that karma, I develop so many kinds of other problems also. Not just raga and dvesha. I compare my karma to other people around me. So then comes matsarya. वो मुझसे आगे है, या वो मैं उससे आगे क्यों नहीं हूँ? So someone is more better than me, or someone has better things than me, or someone has the things that I want but I don't have and he has them. So because of that, I have matsarya. Then I have dvesha. I have some grina. I have hatred for that person, and so on. So many other, all the problems that are there, they come. And another, what is the major problem is that of identity. मैं कर्ता बन जाता हूँ. So I limit myself, and because of that, I become the doer of that action. So forever in my lifetime, I am a doctor, engineer, or I am a completer of a project. But I'm never a bhakta. I'm never a devotee. And if someone calls you that this guy is a very big devotee, then consider you are on the right. So therefore, we are forever struggling to this with this anukulta and pratikulta, this feeling of favorableness or unfavorableness. And because of that, it creates in what we call in our mind two kinds of impressions, you can say. One is the primary impression, which we call samskara. Samskara is any impression that is formed. Anything that we do, it will form an impression on our mind. मैंने ऐसे किया तो ऐसा हुआ. Cause and effect relationship, samskara. Second is vasana. So vasana is more dangerous. So vasana, what does it do? That vasana, it makes us want to do that thing again and again. So what happens is, whenever we get the same situation in our life again, then we lose our freedom of action. हम अपने कर्म की स्वतंत्रता को खो देते हैं. Because what happens is that we don't do karma according to our own desire. We do it by the attraction of that vasana. Because of that vasana, the vasana pulls us towards doing that karma. So something that I enjoyed eating, something that I enjoyed watching, something that I enjoyed like game, playing on the mobile, and so on. Once it somehow by mistake I open it. Just, I guess you guys, everyone would have done it in your life. You open your messages on WhatsApp or whatever. You meant to check one message, which the one you're looking for, and you end up scrolling through all of them. And then you remember something from those messages, and then you go and Google something, and so on. So the cycle traps you. So that is Vasana. That is Vasana. That Vasana, it keeps on churning it and taking you in circles again and again whenever the situation comes in front of us. Therefore, what happens is it is the situation that is making us do something rather than we doing it of our free will. So we lose our freedom. So we want to be free of all the boundaries. No, we all want to be free. We don't want someone should force us to do something. We see the people outside, my boss, my wife, my husband, my friend, they are forever imposing their desires on us and they want us to do something. So we feel that bandhan and we don't want to always do it. Right? We don't always want to do what others want us to do. We want to do what we want to do. But there is a bigger, hidden friend or foe or whatever you want to call the vasanas. They are hidden within us, not outside us. And they make us do things according to that. So therefore, we lose what we call the sukshmata, the subtleness of the mind. And we lose our humanity also. We lose our humanity because we do things that as a human I should not be doing because of my vasanas. And therefore, we lose what we call the ability to discriminate between right and wrong, vivek, or we can say also vicharshilta. We lose the ability to think carefully and then do our action. And because of that, we move downwards. Patana karana. So in Gita also Bhagavan says, buddhi nashat pranashyati. So because of all the desires that we trap on ourselves into, we have, first of all, we have desire, then we have either anger when the desire is not fulfilled, or then we have moha when the desire is fulfilled and I get trapped on. And finally, it goes on to the cycle where my intellect is destroyed, buddhi nashat, and therefore I also am destroyed. So whenever we see that, we see ourselves as the generator of a fruit, phal ke utpadak. So therefore, we bring the whole, you can say, burden of creating that fruit upon ourselves. And therefore, we have, whenever we are successful, then we have the pride of being successful. And whenever we are unsuccessful, then we are trapped in the kind of helplessness, that why am I not able to do this? Maybe I should improve myself. Therefore, in this way, Maharishi ji here, he is showing that karma has inherent fault. Karma is not shashvatam, ashashvatam. Therefore, we have to take the different kind of approach if we are to get out of this grip that the karmas have on us. Therefore, we have to remember karma is going to be generated in time at a particular moment in time, and in another particular moment in time that karma phalam will also get destroyed. Therefore, we should not be dependent upon it. Whatever is coming, enjoy it, but don't be dependent on it. Therefore, we should not go round and round in circles in this anitya samsara, in this non-temporary world. So therefore, we have to avoid it. So if we have to progress in our life, we have to move towards improving our approach to karma. So that is going to come up in the third sloka. So now if we make the connection here, so where we have seen is that we need the right viewpoint towards karma. So therefore we have to develop the ability to discriminate, vivek, to do the right action in the right manner. So because what is the first point we have to note? Phalam ashashvatam. The karma phalam is not permanent. Therefore, we have to do something to move in the direction of freedom. We have to move in the direction of freedom where there will be no bondage which will hold us back. And we have to move towards our highest goal. So therefore, in this goal, moving towards this goal, Maharishi has given us the secret of doing karma by doing it in the manner of surrendering it to the Lord. Ishwararpitam. So we'll see that next. Third sloka. We chanted this, just repeat this. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. So this karma, which is creator of so much bondage, we can keep doing that karma. But what is the secret? Ishwararpitam. We have to offer it to the Lord. Every karma that I am doing, oh Lord, I am offering to you. I am doing it for you. I am doing it because it is your command. And it is not because it should not be nechaya kritam. It should not be my ichha na ichhaya kritam, not be created by my selfish desires. So therefore, in this way, what will happen when this is done in this correct way? Then chitta shodhakam, it becomes purifier of our mind. It purifies our mind, right? And it becomes mukti sadhakam. It becomes a source for our liberation. So therefore, that very karma which was binding us, which was trapping us in the cycle of fruits and vasana and samskara, all of that can be changed by this very, very simple approach of, even though it appears simple, it takes a lot of practice, but this is what is the method that is taught by the Maharishi ji. So because Ramana Maharishi, what is saying? That we have to offer our fruits to the Lord. So therefore, action without any kind of what we call swarth, without any kind of selfishness. When we do that with that Ishwararpana Buddhi, when we do it with the sorry, we do it with the offering to the Lord or surrender to the Lord, then that becomes a purifier of our mind, our chitta, and also becomes the mukti sadhakam. It becomes the source of our liberation. So whatever has been described in the Gita also, Karma Yoga, therefore this is being presented in the form of this example. So, karma on itself is not the creator of bondage. That we have to understand. It on itself, it is not the creator of bondage. But when we do that karma in the wrong manner, then because of that, it becomes a creator of bondage. So it is true that we cannot give up karma. Never in our life can we give up karma. In the Gita also Bhagavan says, not even nahi kaschit chanamapi akarmani krita dhananjaya. So for not even a single second can you stay without doing action. So don't think that by giving up action, sannyasi ban jao, jungle chale jao, kuch karna band kar do. No, you have to open your mouth to eat. You have to do your daily activities. So therefore you cannot give it up. Therefore, he says, you add just nechaya kritam, na ichchaya kritam. Just don't make it selfish. And therefore, if you don't do it selfishly or you do it with Ishwararpanam buddhi, then what will happen is that karma will be, you can say, guided by the Lord. And when it is guided by the Lord, then it will always have the best fruit. The phalam will be the best, and it will also give you no sense of bondage. So therefore, when I think of myself as the doer of action, as a karta, then because of that, my efficiency is also affected because I worry too much. And then because of that, the fruit also may be delayed or may not be proper or may not be achieved at all. Right? A lot of times we try in our life. We apply for so many jobs. We apply for so many targets in life. All of them don't get completed, even though we tried. Sometimes they don't get, because somewhere something is lacking, right? So when we give up that to the Lord, then that completion becomes more easier. And therefore, the earlier problem, that was when I get some karma phalam according to my desire, anukul phala prapti. So then it increases my abhiman, my pride. And when I don't get it in the right way, then we get disappointed. We lose our enthusiasm. And so therefore, for karma phalam prapti, we have to do it in the right manner so that these two problems don't come. So, because Ishvara, first we have to see is that Ishvara is the highest. He is the Antaryami, the one who is residing in all our heart. So therefore, he knows all each and every of one of our thoughts. That is how he is able to give karma phalam. Otherwise, how will he give? So therefore, he is the knower of all our actions. And therefore, Ishvara, when he gives this karma phalam, it will be the right karma phalam for the right karma. So therefore, when he gives this karma phalam, he will never have what we call the normal faults of humans, which is pakshapat dosh and naigranya dosh. Naigranya is you hate someone, so you don't give him what they actually deserve. And we all, whenever we are working, we feel that sometimes we have been shortchanged. We have not gotten what we deserve. But it cannot be with Ishvara. Ishvara will always, because he knows that who is going to give what kind of fruit. No? So I think you were telling some about this, that a wind was blowing, and because of that, uh, it was disturbing the people, and the Guruji, she told that it is this thing, this wind, it carries the food for some of the animals who are not able to reach their food. So that is how we have to learn the secrets of nature, how God is feeding all the animals, all the beings of this world. He is not just looking after the individual, me or my family or my, you can say, humankind. And there are so many beings in this world. Each and every one is being looked after by the Lord. So therefore, when he is looking after, he will not have naigranya dosh, that is grina dosh, and he will not have the pakshapat dosh. So he will not uh, be in any case giving the wrong kind of fruit. So therefore, God has to be fair. So that is the nature of God. So that should be our first line of faith, our belief. Unless we have that, we will not be able to enter into Karma Yoga. So therefore, we should see Ishvara as the one who is looking after us without any kind of favoritism or any kind of negativity. And therefore, because of the different conditions that he is going to provide us, he will give us the best of what we deserve. Right? So therefore, we should always be thankful to the Lord. So that feeling of thankness, that kritagyata, that has to be developed in our life, so that we can deal with the fruits in our life, so that they give us the best result possible. So that is called prasad buddhi. So in prasad buddhi, one of the meanings of prasad is joy. Prasad, anand. So that is one of the meanings. So with the feeling of joy, with the feeling of gratitude, that is all. Whenever we go to a temple, mandir mein jab jate hain, we get that prasad. No? So whatever prasad is, do we think is it good or tasty, or whatever is given, we enjoy it because it is given as a blessing from the Lord. So therefore, we don't have that negativity for that. So if we develop that prasad buddhi for every little thing in this world, then we can easily do what that prasad buddhi will. Sorry. Okay. So that will do in our mind. That will create in our mind the feeling of gratitude and the feeling of positivity for everything that we gain. So that earlier that pratikulta and anukulta that we were having, that will not be there. So I got something that I wanted, so I'll be happy. I got something that I didn't want, I'll be angry or sad or disappointed at least. Then both of these cases will not happen when we are doing with Ishwar Arpan Buddhi. So therefore, when we do every karma with the what we call the desire of the Lord. So how do we know what is the desire of the Lord? ये हमें कैसे पता चलेगा? So therefore we have to understand that in any situation that comes, we constantly will receive our command in life to do some action. Every moment in our life, there will be something that we need to do. So whenever we think about that thing that we have to do, whenever we visualize that thing that we have to do, we have to understand that who is it going to benefit. If it is going to benefit the maximum number of people, including me, no harm in putting yourself also first. But of course it will create the most positivity for me. Then in that case the phalam, the fruit of that action will be really bigger. Whenever I do something with I say sankalpa bhava for the whole universe, or for at least my village or my house or my city or whatever, when I do it for a bigger purpose, then what happens is I get to enjoy the karma phalam of all those people in this group. Because who am I creating that karma phalam for? I am creating it for the whole society. So when I create that for the whole society, then that whole society will get that karma phalam through me or through my creation of a group. And because of that, the society will benefit or prosper, and it will go further, and the goals or the objects that are required will be achieved. So God is looking at us and saying that yes, this person is whatever has been given to him, that person is enjoying with the whole universe around him. So therefore, he will Lord will easily give more to us. Now, whenever we do something for a good sankalpa, then and for the good of more people, then the fruit will more easily be available to us. Right? So therefore, we have to understand that when we take the Ishwar Buddhi, or when we take the his wishes into our account, his wishes mean looking at his desire in all others. So we'll see that in the later verses also, where this is shown that how we can uh, do something according to Ishwar Buddhi, and then it will generate the highest results. So therefore, whenever we do something, first of all, it should be beneficial for me also, but it should also be beneficial for the maximum number of people. And at least it should not be harmful. It should not be harmful for others. So therefore, once we understand that the Ishwara Agya, or the seeing that Ishvara in whole of creation, which we'll see later, then seeing that Ishvara in all of those things will help us get into a more positive frame of mind, and we'll seek a more positive fruit of our actions. So therefore, once we receive that, it naturally, as I said, it becomes a prasad. It becomes something that is received as a gift. So therefore, there are agrah, duragrah, our favoritism, they don't come in. Our raga, dvesh also doesn't come in. Because whatever I'm getting, I'm enjoying as Ishwar prasad, then I will not be having any kind of negativity towards that. Neither will I get trapped in that as it is the case with raga. Because in raga, what happens? I enjoy something and I'm not able to let that object go. So that will not happen. I will enjoy and let it go also. I'll move forward. Whatever is the limit for me to enjoy, I will do. So therefore, this sadhaka, this person who is doing this action in this manner, slowly his mind becomes more and more pure. That person's mind is always more and more turned towards that positivity, that feeling of seeking the Lord, and not just getting trapped into the worldly actions and their the fruits of those actions, but also over a period of time, his purity tends to take the fashion that he begins to see more and more of the Lord in the things around him, in the people around him, and he sees service to the people around him as the service to the Lord. So there was a short incident in the life of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He was a very big freedom fighter, and also someone who served the nation very well. So one day his son saw him and told him, "Look, I don't see earlier when we were younger, you used to do a lot of puja, but now you don't do any puja." So therefore, I will also not do puja. So his Bal Gangadhar Tilak said that look, when the time comes to when you'll be able to serving the whole nation, then you can give up this puja. But till then, you must keep doing it. So therefore, we have to understand that in doing our action, when we reach that stage of bigness, or then we can of course give up the other small pujas. But till then, the mind will be more and more focused towards seeing the Lord in all the beings around us, and therefore that purity is going to take us to a different level of activity. So basically, what is karma phalam? Karma phalam is whenever we do some action, we get a situation as a result of it. We get a paristhiti, a situation. That is karma phalam. So that that situation allows us to enjoy our fruits of action. So therefore, I have to somehow do reach that state so that I can move out of the cycle of what we call reactionary living. Reactionary living. All the time we are reacting. So therefore, if some person, whenever he attains some situation, then he stays calm in that situation, then he is able to do a kind of analysis. That person only will then move to the next stage. He will go to examine the Shastras. He can study the spiritual text. Therefore, every karma I do as the Karturagya. Kartu is the Ishvara. Kartu is the one who is going to give the karma phalam. So when I do according to his agya, then I will have to do it with the prasad buddhi, and then actually it is called karma yoga. Therefore, karma has to be included in each and every stage as the best way to um, express my love towards God in every action that I do. So we'll now move on to the next slide. कायवाक्मन कार्यमुत्तमम् पूजनं जपश्चिन्तनं क्रमात् कायवाक्मन कार्यमुत्तमम् पूजनं जपश्चिन्तनं क्रमात्. So kaya, vak, manah, karyam, uttamam. So here there are three kinds of actions, three ways of doing action. One is kayik, vachik, and mansik. So one is action that is done by the body, the bodily action. Then vak, by speech also we do action. And then mana, that is called the manasik karma, manas karma. So we do actions by our mind also. These are the three kinds of karmas. Kayik, vachik, and mansik. Kaya, vak, manaha. And karyam, uttamam. So successively, these are one of them is superior to the next, and so on. So the actions done by the body, they are less superior to those done by the vani, by the speech, and those done by the speech are less superior to those done by the mind, because mind has more wider range of action. There is this story of Arjun and Bhima. So in that story, Arjuna used to do worship of Shiva, and he used to do the daily puja and action. But one day he saw, when he went up to the temple where Bhima used to pray, he found that the whole shivling, and not just the shivling, the whole mandir was filled with, covered with bel patra leaves. And then he was surprised how this is happening. So then he asked Krishna. So Krishna told him, the Lord told him that you are doing just through your physical action, but he is doing mentally, and his mental bhakti is so pure that because of that, the whole mentally what visualization that he did, that has become a physical manifestation. So therefore, kaya, vak, mana, in this order, one is superior to the next. So this will be seeing more in the context also. So these are to be applied to not just the worldly kaik, vachik, mansik karma, but the in respect of the Lord, pujanam, the worship of the Lord. Then japaha, unka naam smaran karna, and then chintanam, uh, thinking about his true nature. So this is the sequence that we have to apply. So whatever we have seen earlier in this so far, we have seen that in the karma that we have to do in the manner of surrender to the Lord. So now when we are doing that karma as a surrender to the Lord, we have to do that karma also in a way of our service to the Lord directly. Direct service. So direct service is we do first we do kaik karma. So we do the normal puja that we do in the house. We do the normal puja and archana, whatever we do with the proper you can say instruments or whatever you. So if you do the use the lamp, the diya, you light, you put some oil or ghee and then you light it up. You take some flowers, you take some, you place the different idols, different forms of the Lord. So all that is a physical activity. So that is the first one. Then the vachik one is the japa. So we constantly are given a mantra by our gurus. So we have to constantly keep chanting that. The more we chant, our mind becomes more pure, subtle, and in tune with the Lord. So whenever we call someone's name out, that person becomes more uh, favorable to us. Whenever we keep talking to some person, interacting with some person, then that person becomes more connected to us. Same way when we keep chanting the Lord's name, Lord also becomes more connected to us. And then the highest is Chintanam, knowing the Lord, thinking of his form, thinking of his nature beyond his form, and so on. So when we do that Chintanam, we slowly get a higher and higher conceptualization of the Lord. So by till the previous mantra, we are just dedicating our actions to the Lord. We are accepting as Prasad what he considers to be the just result of our actions due to us. So that is what is the karma yoga. So once we do that Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, identifying our duty to act without the ego sense, without the I-ness, and act without the doership, then the God will give us our karma as is a according to his rule and law, but also in a more refined and higher karma phalam we'll get because our karma is for the benefit of most number of people. Right. So therefore it has to be for the benefit of most people. Because we have to do our own karma in the best way possible. Don't interfere in everyone else's. Otherwise they will say, mind your own business. क्यों तुम मुझ में interfere करो? Make yourself the focus of karma yoga, not others. Yeah, he is not doing something well. He will learn on his own way. Unless that person comes to you, don't meddle. Unless that person asks you for guidance, otherwise it will create negativities in our life. So do whatever you can do best, but don't push the others. And therefore, once we enter into this science of karma yoga, we are now ready for bhakti yoga. So this is bhakti yoga, which is being described in this verse. So kaya vakmanam karyam uttamam pujanam japa Chintanam Krama. So this sequence that we learn, this sequence that we apply to our life, it creates that positivity in just not just what we get in the time of the worship, at the time of the temple, but in our whole daily interaction. So because of that, we have good feelings towards others. We see the Lord in all beings. We see his what we call beauty. In every beauty that we see the beauty of the Lord. So in Gita, we have a special chapter where the Lord is saying Vibhuti Yoga, that chapter is, where everything, the best of everything is claimed by the Lord. So therefore, all our scriptures, they give us all these guidances about how to move on the spiritual path. All that has been condensed by Ramana Maharishi here in step-by-step fashion. That is a very short but still a very effective book. So therefore now when we are doing this, what we call swarth rahit act karma, without any kind of that, then we are ready for the next level of bhakti. So the karma yogi only can be a bhakta. That also we have to remember. Or we can say in the other way that for someone to be a karma yogi, he will have to be a bhakta. Because he will have to know, na, he will have to know कि कैसे है मेरे भगवान. Then only he will have that feeling of love, the feeling of surrender, and feeling of doing something for him. Therefore, for developing that closeness to the Lord, we are given these three levels of sadhana, the three levels of kayik, vachik, and mansik, sharir, vani, or man. So therefore, once we do this worship in a proper manner with regularity, then it will create that positive, create that purity in our mind that will help us to absorb more, you can say, esoteric or tough spiritual concepts. If I straight away start with Atma Jnanam, someone, it will not click. You might hear it, you might even remember it, you might even understand it, but still it will not become a part of your daily spiritual activity unless you have gone through it through the way of bhakti. So बिना भक्ति के मार्ग के वहां पे पहुंचना ठीक नहीं है, ये आसान नहीं है. So therefore, pujanam, japas, chintanam, these three fold sadhana Maharishi has given us, and therefore whatever steps we take time by time, we can use them to increase our purity. Yeah? So first, what is the first one? The bodily karma. So we call it, we can say murti puja. Yeah? So you when you doing this murti puja, then after doing that, when you come out of that murti puja, then each and every action that we do, that adds to our feeling in life. Like what did we say? पहले क्या हम बोलते हैं? दिया. So that signifies light. So I am forever very, very conscious in my daily routine. Then we have flowers. So I am forever like a fragrant flower to all the people around. So that then I sprinkle water, jal. So that signifies my feeling of shauch, purity. I keep my body pure. I keep my mind also pure. So in this way, this vachik karma, it helps us bring the 5, 10, 15 minutes of puja in the morning to the rest of the day. So next we are coming to japaha. So japaha is what we call remembering the Lord through our speech. So this, as I said, if your guru or some family tradition has given you a japa, we do that. Or usually most of us, we have our family deity. It might be Hanumanji for some, it might be Shivji for some, it might be Devi Ma for some. So their name has been taught to us or given to us as our chant. So that chanting helps, keeps us engrossed in the Lord through all the day. Because what is the final goal of Adhyatma is that Atma Bhav, that I am the Atma, that should be there all the time. So just telling that is not going to be easy. Through japa, that practice is attained. So japa is there, and through japa, that practice has to be attained. So japa also is also two kinds basically. So one is the japa where dhyana sahit japa, and other is japa sahit dhyan. So what is the difference? The japa that is dhyana sahit japa, in that the japa is primary, but with that you are adding dhyanam. You are also side by side visualizing the form of the Lord. So jap में किसका नाम आ रहा है? भगवान का नाम आ रहा है, the name of the Lord. So with that you can also visualize the form of the Lord or the qualities of the Lord and so on. So that is there, but the japa is important. You keep counting the japa. But after some time, with practice, what happens is that japa happens constantly, but then dhyan becomes important. Then it becomes dhyana sahit japa. Dhyan pehle, jap baad mein. So then the remembrance of the Lord is primary. All of the time, I am thinking about the Lord, and because of that positivity that is coming into my mind is bringing to that, bringing the feeling of being one with the Lord all the time. So because of that, with that dhyana stage japa, that higher stage of japa also, I am able to connect to the Lord in a very, very more refined manner. So this is uh, connecting to the Lord through Vani, Vani ki bhakti. And then the third is by the mind, Mana. So that is the highest, that is the toughest, and that. So in focusing the mind, what is the problem? All the time our mind is also running around at the objects of the Lord. So because of that, I have to focus a lot. So therefore, dhyana or mansik, the manas karma or manasik bhakti, that requires a lot of, you can say, kripa from the Lord. And where will the kripa come? When we have done all our duties. So manas japa can only be successful where the mansik karma can only be successful. Manasik karma is what? Meditating on the different form and qualities of the Lord. Something that we started with dhyana sahit japa. Now it will be only pure dhyana. So now it will be pure dhanam. So when it is pure dhanam, then internally I'm thinking, worshipping the Lord. Internally I'm talking to the Lord. He talks to us. It's not like something that we hear about it. Whenever we develop that connection with the Lord, He will talk to us. He will be there with us in our all our endeavors. So therefore, once we internally connect to that Lord through the I have to give up my insistences, my karmic desires, and therefore for manasik karma to be pure or effective, I have to give up my distractions. So once I keep practicing. So Kabir also says, karat karat abhyaste jadmati ho sujan. So you keep on doing action, and then slowly over a time, even that jadmati, that dead intellect will become full of life. So therefore, if I have to move towards that higher state of mukti or that higher state of liberation, then I have to focus my mind and purify it so that it doesn't wander off. Right? So in this way, we are going to see this, see this series of how it is developing. So now, part by part, we look at each of these pujas in the next sloka. So we have some time, so just Jagat Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhre Deva Pujanam. So therefore, when I'm going to do this uh, this kaik karma, this bodily worship, then what is the process? Jagat Ishadhi. The whole universe is pervaded by the Lord. Everything is the Lord only. So I have to develop dhi or buddhi or Ishvara buddhi in the whole universe. The whole universe is Lord only. The whole universe is the different forms of the Lord. And therefore, Ashtamurti Brit Deva Pujanam. I worship the Lord through that Ashtamurti. Ashtamurti is what? The different forms of the Lord in the world. We'll see that the details of that. So Ashtamurti Brit Deva Pujanam. So I worship the different deities, different forms of the Lord, different manifestations of the Lord as He comes about to the universe to show His form in all the different elements of the universe, the five elements, and also the sun, the moon, and as the consciousness, the jiva. So these are Ashtamurti. So we'll see that. So when we are when we are entering into the first karma, I explained in short all the three kinds of karma. So now we go a bit more in detail into the Ashtamurti. So the form, worship of Lord with form, or the bodily worship. So this kind of worship, once I understand that the manasik is superior, that does not mean that I don't do the uh, kaik karma. I don't do the physical actions. If I have to start there, because it's like if you are riding a cycle with three wheels, a tricycle, it is easier. You can a kid can do that. But once you move to the second one, the one with two wheels, the bicycle, then it's tougher. You need more balance. But if you watch the guys in the circus, so they ride on that single wheel cycle, the monocycle. It is very, very difficult. It needs a lot of practice. So we have to slowly move, slowly move. So therefore, we have to do the puja as a starting with a relation, as a means of starting a special relationship with God. I have to start that special relationship. So all the relationships that we have, they are the worldly relationships, the relationships with the people. So I am a father, a son, a husband. So now I have to move from the relationship of the worldly relationship to the relationship with the Lord, which is the relationship of the bhakta. And therefore, I have to visualize some kind of form for the Lord. So now this form can be different as per our conditioning or training or family, whatever, right? So the Lord can have different kinds of forms. So these forms basically from the highest concept, which is the formless Brahman or the Nirgun Brahman, Nirgun Nirakar Brahman. From that we have to come to the Sagun Brahman. And then from Sagun Brahman, we have to come to the deity that I identified, my Ishta Devta. So the deity that I identified, and that deity will have specific form, features, and all. And then finally, also, I narrow it down further to my family Devta. So as I said, we all have Grama Devta, Kula Devta. So all of we have the Hindu tradition where different devtas are there who are available for us to worship. So all of these deities that I am going to bring into my life, I have to understand their conception, their conceptualization, their nature, and then I will be able to bring them into life. So how we want God to appear to us is very much our personal choice. With form, without form, does not matter. Yeah. But because the human being has the tendency to, use a form, so we have to make that decision. There was a story about some ants. So ants decided that they must start worshipping, and so they had to have a god. So they decided what kind of god. Obviously they decided that God must have a huge size. And then the ants were quarreling that if the god is there, he must have antenna. So what kind of antenna? Where will be the position of the antenna? And they began fighting among themselves. This is how the gods. And then after they were fighting, then another big giant ant came. But in fact, that giant ant didn't even have antenna. They were developing the feeling of reverence towards that. And then they found it didn't even match their visualization. So that is how God is. The story is simply to illustrate that we all have so many different conceptualization of God, but God might be different from what we conceptualize. So it is Shastra, it is the scriptures that will help us to reach that conceptualization. So when we follow the guidance of Shastra, we will be able to reach that conceptualization in a much, much better manner. So therefore, then only we can move into the Ashtamurti Bhrit Puja, the puja of the different forms of the Lord, or the form that is going to be my favorite. So that Ashtamurti Brit I have to enter into. So we'll look more of this in the next class. I think the time is up. We did start a bit late, but anyway, let's not take the class also to very late date. So I think we'll wind up for today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.